looks interesting.
Oh, now then, what have you found? Anything nice?
Oh, bit of jewellery here, Paul.
Oh, look at this.
Pretty earrings.
That's a little cachet of stuff, isn't it? So where's this been added, you know?
I'm just raking through all of the things through there, and
right.
It was underneath all the boxes.
It's amazing what you inherit, isn't it, all this sort of stuff. Look at that. This is old Victorian costume jewellery.
Earrings are so sweet.
Yeah, these are French paste.
Right.
And the idea was, if you had the real examples of these, it was very dangerous to wear them. You'd lose one. You know, you may even get robbed. So what people used to do would be to make paste examples.
Right.
And these were often worn at dances and dinner dances and that sort of thing. But you had the real one at home. But those are beautiful, aren't they? Late 19th century little items. And yeah, anything else take your fancy there?
Well, there's a few bits, but I thought that was quite unusual. What is it?
Now then, this would hang on a gentleman's watch chain, or possibly a bracelet. It's an old seal. Well, the golden days of writing letters, if you wanted to keep things private, you'd often seal your letter with a bit of wax. And of course, what you would have is this seal here which goes into the wax, and it would leave your impression or your name. So you'd know that nobody could break into your letter. But yeah, there's all sorts of collectors there. Is there another layer as well underneath it?
There is. There's lots of other things, I think, underneath. Right,
OK. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do with this. This is a great collector's lot. Somebody would love to just have a route through here and buy it as a job lot.
Yeah.
And I think what I'll do, I'll make sure there's no gold items amongst it first.
Yep.
But if that was to come to auction, and if I said 120, 150 pounds, I mean, how does that sound?
I think that sounds pretty good.
All right,
that's a pretty good price.
All those fake diamonds add up. All right, well, let's keep looking.
Yeah, that's
Smashing,
lovely,
that.
thank you.
All right, let's go in here. Let's go.
A glittering addition to our auction lots. And another good find is a set of old coins worth £40 to £80. This collection belonged to Linda's uncle, but condition is everything in this market, and most of these are far from mint. Still, a collector would love to have a good look through these, I'm sure.
Linda, it's going very well.
Great, yeah.
You happy?
Yeah, I'm brilliant, yeah. It's great.
Your house is absolutely lovely.
Thank you.
Lots of photographs of you and your husband. What was he like as a person?
Very gregarious, very funny, very tall, over 6 foot. Liked a good laugh and parties, and especially fancy dress ones.
Fancy dress?
Yes, yeah, loved fancy dress parties.
What, he'd actually dress up himself?
Yes, yeah.
What do you think he'd make of you doing this?
Well, I think he'd be okay with it. He was the consummate hoarder, really was, and that's why a lot of these things have come from his side of the family. But I think now he'd, you know, as long as the boys and I were happy, he'd be glad that we were just making use of them. And
you lost him a few years ago. Tell me what happened.
We were actually on holiday in France, and it was the last day of our holiday. We'd gone shopping and we were going to have lunch and gradually pack up slowly, and he suddenly said, I'm not feeling very well, and he collapsed in a shop, and he'd had an aneurysm. He was airlifted to a cardiovascular hospital in France and survived the operation, but unfortunately he spent a month on life support, and then we lost him.
Did he share your passion of travel?
Yes, yes, yeah, very much. We did America a few times and a few other places, but yeah, he loved his holidays, yeah.
What is this love of travel for you? Is it immersing yourself in the local culture?
I love other cultures, and it's the adventure. I love an adventure, definitely.
Well, we really do need to find that £1,000 then, don't we? It's going to be a journey of a lifetime, do you reckon?
Well, it's going to be one journey, but I hope there's more to come.
I think we should go and find Paul.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's found that bit of treasure we're after.
It's been a difficult few years, and Linda's very deserving of this adventure. Our hunt continues for items that will get Linda and her camera out to Havana to capture those old cars. And Paul's found some miniature versions which are just as old. These Triang toys were kept in great condition by Linda's husband Alan and were off limits for the boys. Triang was set up in London in 1850 by the Lines brothers and grew to be the largest toy manufacturer in the world, incorporating brands like Cindy, Meccano and Scalextric. Paul reckons on at least £80 to £150 for this lot at auction. And there's more where that came from.
Oh, I've become a very happy child.
Oh, what have we got here?
A train set.
A train set?
Yeah, look at that.
That's a big train, look at that one.
It is. I've been working up to the part of the fat controller, as you can see.
Oh, John, these are fantastic, aren't they? Look at that. So have these come down the family then?
That came from, must have come from my husband as a child. We found it in my mother-in-law's house. He was born there, so all his toys were still there.
Does it make a difference that you've got all these original boxes as well?
It makes a massive difference, yeah. I mean, this is actually invented by a guy called Frank Hornby, and he was from Liverpool. And the idea was he wanted to teach children educational engineering. So he patented an idea called Mechanics Made Easy, and that became Meccano. And of course, Meccano was a massive selling range of toys. But in the 1920s, what he came up with, what really was the showstopper, really was this sort of train set. It's tin plated, it's made from steel, quite cheap to produce, but endless hours of fun. You've got a good collection here. I mean, if I said at least 150, you know, you're up to £200. Quite easily what I can see here. I suspect these will go for quite a lot more, actually.
Okay.
How does that sound?
That's a fantastic valuation.
Amazing.
Are you chuffed?
Absolutely, yeah, I am.
Hey, that's a good one.
Listen, I'm very excited now, because everywhere we look, there are treasures in this house.
Great, isn't it? Look at that.
I think we're going to get to that 1,000, you know?
I hope we do.
Yeah. Very positive thinking. Come on, let's get on with it.
Well, just leave me here and have a little play with this.
Are you? Right, okay, well, we'll step over it.
Come on, Paul, we might be on our way, but there's more work for you to do. Gillian's got the right idea. She's found more treasures in a wardrobe. These mugs also came from Alan's family. 2 of them are pewter, but 1 is silver and dates from the reign of George III. It's so old the mark has worn off, so we don't know who made it. Even so, it could fetch £200 to £400 if the right bidders are at the auction. Gillian's not stopping there.
Paul,
Yeah.
come here. What do you think of these clocks?
Are these something that Linda's bought then, do you think?
I think she actually inherited these off grandparents.
Right. Well, this set here is called a garniture de cheminée, and that comes from the French. Basically, it garnishes your mantelpiece. And the idea is that this would sit on the middle of the mantelpiece. These 2 tarses will be on the either side, and you put your candles or perhaps your keys and that sort of thing, and they would look very attractive, very regal, very architectural, actually, this style, isn't it? It's known as neoclassical. You know, the whole thing's based on ancient Rome and Greece and that sort of sturdy architectural look. If you wanted to make a Victorian look in a house, these are perfect. For an interior design, I'm sure that's what Linda would have the idea as well.
Yes.
But if you want an Art Deco look, 1920s, people tend to go for this.
That's right.
So there's a big market for these ones, but this is known in the trade as Napoleon hat shape. Can you see that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that straight away, yeah.
Very simple, but what's nice about this one, it has 3 winding holes, and do you know why they have that?
No.
1 for the actual clock mechanism, 1 for the strike, and then 1 because it plays a tune.
Oh, wow.
And this could actually play 2 tunes, with Westminster chime maybe.
I wonder if it'd still work.
But if we said 120, 150 £150 for those, allowing for the restoration, how does that sound?
I think that's very, very good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
I'm sure you should be very happy with that.
It's not just good, it's monumental. Come on, let's get some fresh jokes.